Is it love, or is it obsession? You probably think love and obsession are two separate things, but what if I told you? Your brain doesn't know the difference, and the person you can't stop thinking about. They might not be your soulmate, they might be your addiction. So how do you tell the difference? Love should make you feel safe and secure, but obsession, it makes you feel anxious, trapped, and out of control. If you've ever felt like love was taking over your thoughts, your happiness, and even your sense of self, what you're feeling isn't random. It actually follows a pattern that psychologists call Obsessive Love Disorder. Now, it's not an official diagnosis, but it describes a cycle where love turns into obsession, and obsession turns into desperation. And once you're in it, it feels impossible to stop. After reviewing research from institutions like Harvard, Rutgers, and the American Psychological Association, I've found that although they don't formally endorse a 5-stage model, their combined insights forms a framework. Let's break it down. Stage 1, the initial obsessive focus. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, overwhelming connection, like they just get you? Maybe it was just a first date, but you already started picturing your life together. You replay their words in your head. You analyze every text, every emoji. It feels perfect, almost too perfect. A 2010 study from Rutgers University found that the early stages of love activate the same brain pathways as cocaine use, flooding your system with dopamine and making the person feel like an irresistible high. I know this feeling. I've been there. It's intoxicating, right? You convince yourself this is meant to be. You start shaping your day around the possibility of seeing them. But here's the problem. When love starts to feel like a fix rather than a connection, that's when you need to pause. Excitement is normal, but falling too fast before really knowing someone? That's the first warning sign. Stage 2, emotional dependency, needing them. You don't just like them anymore, you need them. Your happiness depends on them. Your peace of mind? It's only there when they are. The shift, when infatuation turns into dependency. At first, they were just someone you really enjoyed talking to, but then, something changed. You wake up, and your first thought is, did they text me? Your last thought before bed, why do they feel distant? Did I do something wrong? The emotional roller coaster. When they're responsive, it's a dopamine rush. You feel safe, loved, unstoppable. But when they pull back, even a little, it's like the world is crumbling. You start second-guessing everything. Should you text first? Should you wait? Did you come on too strong? And suddenly their attention feels like oxygen. And if they withdraw, it's like you can't breathe. Experts call this emotional enmeshment, when your emotions become entangled with someone else's to the point where you lose your own sense of stability. Clear signs of emotional dependency. Your mood shifts dramatically based on how they treat you. You seek constant reassurance that they still like you. You start neglecting your own needs and hobbies to be available for them. Love should feel stable, not like a constant emotional guessing game. If you feel like your happiness is in someone else's hands, it's time to take some of that power back. Stage 3, compulsive monitoring. You promised yourself that you wouldn't check their page again, but 5 minutes later, you do. Then you check their likes, then their recent followers. And then, somehow, you end up scrolling their tagged photos from 2017. Every tiny detail feels like it means something. They liked someone's picture. Why? They posted a song lyric. What does it mean? You start overanalyzing timestamps. They were online 2 minutes ago, but they didn't reply. And suddenly, your brain is spinning 100 different scenarios, each one worse than the last. Stanford neuroscientists found that obsessive love activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the same part of the brain responsible for compulsions and addictive behaviors. Heart races when you see their name pop up. You can't sleep because you're waiting for a message. Your mind keeps replaying their last conversation, looking for hidden clues. This isn't love, it's mental entrapment. And the more you feed the cycle, the deeper it gets. If you catch yourself doing this, pause. Step back. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to monitor them? Because the answer might tell you more about you than about them. Stage 4, the crisis point, where everything falls apart. This is where it all comes crashing down, the moment when obsession stops being just thoughts in your head and starts controlling your actions. It starts small. A text goes unanswered for an hour longer than usual. Your brain kicks into overdrive. Are they busy? Are they ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? You check your phone, no notifications, refresh the chat, still nothing. Suddenly, your heartbeat is in your throat, your breathing gets faster, your hands are clammy, you send a message. Then another, then another. Maybe it's passive-aggressive, maybe it's full of fake indifference. Hey, everything okay? But you need a response. And the silence? It's unbearable. Maybe you call them. No answer. Maybe you scroll through every old text, trying to find where things went wrong. Maybe you drive past their house just to see if their car is there. Deep down, you know this isn't love anymore. It's fear. You snap. You send the long, emotional text, the one you know you shouldn't send, but you can't stop yourself. Maybe it's a plea, maybe it's an accusation, maybe it's a final ultimatum. Just tell me the truth. Do you even care about me anymore? And then you wait, staring at the screen. You reread the messages. Did you really say all of that? Did you really send that many texts? Suddenly, the shame is unbearable. A forensic psychology study found that a significant percentage of stalking cases originate from obsessive love, but it rarely starts with following someone in real life. It starts with small acts of control. I just want to know where they are. I just need to make sure they're okay. But in reality, it's really about maintaining control. At this point, the relationship isn't about love, it's about survival. And real love never makes you feel like you have to fight to be seen. Stage 5, reintegration, learning to love yourself again. This is the stage where you don't just let them go. You start taking yourself back. You reach for your phone, but there's no message. You feel the impulse to check their social media, but you stop yourself. And for the first time, you realize how much of your brain they've been taking up. And it's terrifying. Studies show that 75% of people who seek therapy for obsessive love successfully break the cycle. But it takes time. Why? Because this isn't just emotional, it's neurological. Your brain has to rewire itself after months, sometimes years of dependency. The silence stops feeling painful. It starts feeling peaceful. You remember what it's like to focus on yourself. You don't need them to validate you anymore. One day you'll wake up, and they won't be the first thing on your mind. You won't feel the impulse to check on them. You won't feel the need to prove your worth. You'll feel light, free. And that's how you'll know it was never love. It was obsession. And real love, it doesn't make you feel trapped. It makes you feel safe. If you've recognized yourself in any of these stages, you're not alone. What you've been experiencing is called Obsessive Love Disorder, and thousands of people go through it. But here's the good news. This cycle can be broken. Studies show that most people who seek therapy for obsessive love successfully recover. And the best part? They don't just move on, they reinvent themselves. Subscribe now to get our next breakdown on how to spot an obsessive partner, a video requested by viewers.